We hacked this Furby for today's keynote. Martin, our VP of Developer Relations, used Copilot to hack his son's old Furby and make it sing, talk, and dance on command.
And now I can make it do stuff like I can make it say hello.
Hello? He even connected it to Home Assistant, and you can do it too. All the info's on the PyFluff repo on GitHub. The keynote ended with a Furby choir dancing to a hauntingly beautiful piano piece.
Hello, everyone. Andrea here from GitHub, and we are recording once again from GitHub Universe. And today we're doing something a little bit different. I'm talking to my boss's boss's boss. That's right, Martin Woodward, the VP of Developer Relations at GitHub. And we're going to talk a little bit about the way that GitHub thinks about developer relations. And we're also going to talk about what happened today. We have to talk about this. I saw a message someone posted, I think it was either on Slack or Twitter, about you can always expect Martin to do the most unhinged things when he is on the keynote stage. Sir, welcome to the pod.
Thanks for having me.
And can you please describe in a few words what your keynote was about, please?
My keynote, the goal of my keynote, I wanted to ask the question of why are we here? Why are we all here as developers? What are we doing? Especially in the world of it's too easy to, people have concerns and people are worried, and I was like, no. So the whole point was to get across that AI doesn't create great software. You create great software. You need that inspiration, that spark to create goodness in the world. And so the way that we did that was to go on a bit of a journey where we started off and I told a story about my son's Furby and how I found it in his closet and things.
Amazing.
A proud mama of two sons, but I've got sons who are getting ready to leave for, my last one's getting ready to leave for college. So you can imagine how that feels. Don't go there.
No,
and
right.
I talk about the Furby, how I wanted to hack it, hook it up to Home Assistant. And then I was literally on the phone to your boss's boss, Ashley, and we were chatting and I was like, oh, I really want to do this project, blah, blah, blah. But this thing's out of date. And I was like, oh, hang on. And it was, I've got Copilot. And it was one of those, you know, how you keep forgetting, oh, hang on a minute, maybe Copilot could do this. Yeah. So I just pointed it at BlueFluff, which is this open source project for the Bluetooth protocol of the old Furby that my son happened to have. Pointed it at BlueFluff, and in 4 minutes, it created a complete modern Python implementation of the Bluetooth protocol to talk to a Furby. I was like, I was just on the phone going,
it did the thing.
Yeah, I was like, well, we've got to make this a keynote then. So that's what we did. So then we made it, we did about the Furby, then we brought on, the community, you helped with the zero to merge stuff with Abby.
Yeah.
And we went out to the open source community, got them to tell us stories so we could give them a big shout out on the stage. And then we gave the whole that was the only point in the keynote where I leave the stage and the whole stage is given over to the community because that felt very GitHub thing to do.
100%.
Gave them some time to talk about their project. And Open Healthcare, which is just doing amazing work across India, helping revolutionize through open source as a digital public good, the ecosystem. And then we had Helen on, who's, again, if I need a partner in unhingedness, I always call Helen because she's amazing.
She is the one. And I need to watch this keynote. And for those of you who are just listening and watching, do not miss the opportunity to watch this. It's going to be on the YouTube channel now. So you can go back and watch this. You have an orchestra of.
Do you want me to spoil the end? Okay, so we had different people. We had it. And then at the end, so Helen came on because Helen's, she's the maintainer of WordPress. She's an amazing engineer.
She is phenomenal, yes.
And she's legit. And then, but she's also the maintainer of WordPress. Again, awesome. And then she's randomly a concert pianist. It's like, who's for real at proper concerts, and her partner's like celloist and stuff. She's so talented. It's and then she's weightlifts and she's crazy.
Oh no, she's a real deal, friends. Yeah. Follow her and subscribe.
Exactly. So I was like, hey, let's have you up. And so I got her to. I was like, well, now I can hack a Furby. I clearly can't stop at one Furby. So I want an orchestra of Furbies. I originally wanted 88 Furbies, but it turns out I couldn't fit them all on the thing for the stage. So we ended up, it was about 40 Furbies. It was 30 odd Furbies. And then had the piano hooked up and then made them all dance around and move and stuff. It was awesome.
Amazing. I love it that you were able to bring the whimsy and realness to I feel that's one of the things that makes GitHub Universe so special.
How on earth, what other company could we work at that wouldn't just tolerate me doing that would then give me a keynote stage and allow me to expense 66 Furbies from eBay one at a time?
Yes. But listen, you bring up a really great point about how we sometimes forget that the technology is here to be the assist for our human creativity. And what an incredible point to bring, because we get caught up in the loops of efficiency, productivity, in so many more lines of code. But did it bring you joy? Was it fun? This is a project that personally, I need to watch it, but it sounds like it brought you a lot of joy.
Yeah, you know me, that's how I keep sane. Like, I have to, we know when I'm stressed because I have a soldering iron. This was the project this year of how, in all the lead up to Universe and all the complexity and figuring out the ships and telling the stories and getting vendors here and doing partner agreements, all that, hack some Furbies. That's the way. And then also the conference badge as well with Avni.
Yes.
Those were my two key projects that kept me alive and kept my passion alive while dealing with all the paperwork and approving people's expenses and all that sort of stuff.
All the mundane
things.
Listen, we have to speak about the conference badge as well, because it has been, I mean, and if you've listened to this, hopefully, obviously it'll be after the conference. You've seen it online, and if you have not, go to Twitter and look for the photos. People love this badge this year. Can you speak a little about the partnership with Pim Moroni?
Yeah.
And what goes into creating that kind of build? Because it's a lot.
It is. And it is a proper partnership with Pine because they're a small UK manufacturing firm. They're tiny. They're not very big at all. And they do custom electronics. They do hobbyist kits and things.
Okay.
They had a badge the past 3 years, we've had the e-ink badge. And that was based on a kit that they had. And I was like, this is cool. How much would it cost to do a custom one of these? What's our minimum order? And our minimum order turned out to be around the size of a Universe audience. So I was like, okay, let's build 4,000 of those and then we can distribute them. So we did a custom one with the e-ink past 2 years. And then this year we did a custom one with a full color screen battery, infrared, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. They were all the things people wanted.
Yes.
So we built it in and yeah, it's been awesome. And I think the key thing for me, the chip inside it is a RP2250B, which is similar chip. It's slightly more powerful than the chip we had last year, but it's the same chip. And yet so many more people are hacking this one than were hacking the e-ink one. And I just think it's because it feels more a device. The
portability of it, or
just that it's more approachable because it's a color screen and it feels like a computer. And then because of the example, we put an operating system on it. It's all coded in Python. And I think all those things just, again, to your point, got people's inspiration going about, oh, I could do this or this. Oh, and so it got them excited about hacking it more. Yeah. Whereas the e-ink badge, I felt was probably too much of a badge. So even though it was just as powerful, it was nowhere near as approachable to people. So I think and then the other thing we did to make this much more approachable is we've added a special mode. So it goes into USB mass storage mode. So you press the reset button twice and then it becomes a disk. And then you can access the files on the device.
Oh, that's cool.
Before you had to use Thonny and a few. Yeah, now you can just access it as a disk, edit the files, eject the disk, and then boom, they're running on your badge.
Well, listen, I think people loved it. This was a absolute success. And between yesterday and today, I've seen so many new applications that people have built, weather apps, something for recommendations of something, a task list, and they're sharing it in the community, which is great. Let's talk a little bit about what was interesting to you yesterday. Because yesterday was keynote day one, and day one was keynoted by our COO, Kyle Day. And there was a lot of announcements. We've been busy. Our teams have been busy building this part of the future. What was the most exciting announcement from yesterday? And you can be your kids that you gotta love them all.
Yeah,
you gotta pick one.
To me, then it has to be Agent HQ
100.
because it's the most GitHub-y move ever. It's like, oh yeah, we've got all these coding agents. Yeah, we have our own coding agent, but we see a lot of coding agents in the community. Let's make them all work really well on GitHub. Let's make it open. Let's make it a platform where all these agents can come together. Because it turns out, as we use agents a lot at work, the more we use them, the more we are understanding the best way of working with them is because it's an asynchronous flow. We have an asynchronous flow. It's called the pull request. So adapting that so that it works really well with agents, and then collaboration between agents and developers allows that collaboration to happen. The biggest difference in the way that we talk about agents is we never refer to agents as a teammate, whereas you see lots of front-end labs talk about as a teammate because we know that agents don't replace developers. Agents accelerate developers. And so we talk about collaboration between developers and agents. and doing that through the pull request and doing that with any agent. So we had on stage, we had Anthropic, we had OpenAI, and then we also announced all the other partners as well. XAI, Devon, Google Jules, who are upstairs from us here right now as we're recording. So all these partners coming together, plugging in, got a code agent, great. Have it come work awesome on GitHub. And that to me is the most GitHub thing. We are a platform for collaboration. We were a platform for developer collaboration. Now we're a platform for developer and agent collaboration, and it just makes things better, makes things faster.
I love that. Can you say more about why it's important for us to do that? Provide choice to developers.
Every developers are opinionated.
Yeah.
So every developer's convinced that a certain way is exactly the right way to do something, and everybody else is wrong. The only way that we can support that effectively and be the home for all developers, which is our mission, is to give choice. And GitHub's always been about choice. That's if you cut anybody at GitHub, if you cut them open, they bleed open source. And so that's the same with this, is about, let's give developers choice. We gave them choice of models with Copilot. So even though models that don't come from Microsoft, come from completely other people, let's have them in. People can pick what works best for them. Same with agents. Let's just make it available for everybody. Only GitHub would do that. Everybody else would want to lock you into their model and their agent. We don't care. Use the best model for you. We are empowering developers to be the best. We're not empowering developers to use our products the most. That's the key difference in how we think about the world. We just want you to be successful as a developer.
And do it while having fun.
Yes.
I got to speak with the folks from Amplitude today, and very, I mean, this world is open, so many possibilities, and bringing access to information and business intelligence to the entire software development lifecycle.
Yeah.
And I love that we get to play a part of making it interoperable and whimsical.
Yeah.
And all the things. And of course, we talked about AI, we talked about Agent HQ and all the great ships there. GitHub Copilot has been our bestie for a few years, and it's only getting more powerful, always with the power of choice of model, the choice of custom agents now. But I want to talk about paper cut things that developers care about, because there is a lot of conversations that happen maybe internally that we don't do a really good job at sharing with folks outside. Because we are thinking about pull requests and issues. So can you share a bit about what we're doing internally?
Yeah, well, it's both internally and externally. I think what people have seen so far is, oh, hang on, things are getting fixed across the GitHub platform.
Yes.
We added WebP support. We added the ability to comment on any part of a file that changed within a pull request. We added navigation within pull requests. It's like, oh, hang on, something's happening here. And this is a fairly recent thing. It's probably not since you've been around GitHub for a long time.
It's true.
But since 2016, maybe? Yeah, probably maybe around that time. But that's the last time, but probably we had as much focus on the core platform.
This is very true, yes.
And I think people are starting to see that. I also think a lot of this has been helped by using Copilot ourselves more, frankly.
Yes.
So we're able to, because the engineering team hasn't got any bigger, and so we're able to do more with the same people. We're able to review the same amount of code. So yeah, so for me, some of those features are the best. There is a huge passion now within the business for fixing these things. And then we can justify it as well now, which is nice, because
yes,
we can now justify all the investments in that pull request form, because now we're improving not just the human to human, the developer to developer interactions, but also the developer to agent interactions and all this sort of stuff. So, but those features they're never going to make a keynote. Like, oh yeah, we ship WebP support. Yeah, great. There's so many of those that have been delivered. That's not what makes the keynote. The keynote is the big new shiny stuff, and all anybody wants to talk about is AI. So we talk about AI. It's cool.
Exactly. But I love it that you came by today and you can share that there is a lot that we're cooking for your day to day. And maybe you're someone that you're not as interested in the new hottest model. Maybe you're just embracing agentic workflows yourself, but you should know GitHub still cares about pull requests, issues, projects, and all the things. And we're investing 100%. Heavily on that. I love it. You've been here for a while as well, Martin, and you've seen the company change a lot. What are you excited for in the future?
It's back to this. I'm actually really excited right now about how much focus there is on the core collaboration capabilities. I've had so many conversations with other leaders around the business, and the answer has just started becoming, oh, well, let's go fix that.
I love that.
Oh, yeah. It's really exciting. So, I don't know, we could probably talk about this. We had an issue with the badges in terms of.
Oh, yes. Here. Well, by the time people listen to this, it would have been all.
Okay, let's tell them about it.
Let them about it. And this is how I figured out that I would have been a terrible factory worker, by the way. But carry on. Tell us what happened.
For people who don't know, there was a really bad boom that hit Southeast Asia,
Yeah.
and that took out the factory that was building our screens. And so the factory had to restore and start up with screen manufacturing again, get the glass in and all this sort of stuff. So turns out supply chains are hard. And we were originally going to have everything sent to Pimeroni, who were based in Sheffield, the UK. They build and assemble components. They had a ton of value and they shipped them to the US. Had a whole thing where the boxes that we're doing, we learned loads of lessons. We made sure there was zero single-use plastics involved. We spent a lot of time on that, recyclable materials, all the good stuff. But then we found out that the screens weren't going to make it to the UK in time. So, and at that point, I was ready to give up. But thankfully, my team is more resourceful than me. And Avni on the team was just like, no, we can do this. And so she worked together with Pimeroni, and they decided to ship the screens direct from Taiwan to the HQ to GitHub offices in San Francisco, and then ship the rest of the assembled devices to San Francisco from the UK. And then what people don't know is that on Monday night, a lot of hubbers stayed up very, very, very late into the night, hand assembling 4,000 conference badges for our attendees. And we didn't quite have enough screens that made it through customs in time. So we ended up I've got one because I helped make it and I'm demoing it, but no hubbers here have badges.
Yes.
Because we were just making sure all of the community got it. And what? Not a single person at GitHub complained about this. Nobody at GitHub they complained about not getting a badge. Don't do that. People at GitHub love swag.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
But the making of the badges, people were just like, oh, you need help? Let's rock up. How can I help? It was the best team building exercise I've ever seen across the business.
I loved it. I messaged a friend because they wanted to make plans. And I'm like, listen, I'm doing a shift. It was fantastic. I make connections with people from certain parts of the company that otherwise.
Yeah, revenue and support.
100%.
Everybody just came in.
I'm like, when do we get to sit around next to each other? And we have to hone into an activity that's very repetitive. Yeah. So shout out to Avni for putting off the effort and to all the hours who showed up and made sure that everyone here got a badge. It was actually a really great team building exercise. And today, I know I saw on Slack, somebody was saying, hey, if there's more coming in, I want to go in and help finish the job. And I'm like, what? That wasn't me.
Yeah.
No. We figured out what my specialty was, and I stuck to that, and it was great. They peeled the plastic off and put it on the cake.
Those nails are a good plastic peeling ones.
That was it. But I love all of these details that make this conference so special.
Yeah.
And the love that Howard's felt for the community. And earlier you said something that is going to stick with me. I should put it on a t-shirt. If you cut them up, they bleed open source.
Yeah.
Because I think that's one company that literally every single person here has a lot of love for community. They have their own communities that they support. And so when we do things, it just really shows that care.
And it's energizing as well, isn't it, for everyone?
Oh, God, 100%. Well, Martin, where can we reach you? If somebody listened to you today and they're like, what, I want to partner up with Martin and do things, how can they get a hold of you?
So Martin Woodward on most social platforms. If you go to my blog, woodwardweb.com, you'll have links to all my socials there. Feel free to follow, or you can just follow the GitHub handles because I'm posting on there often enough, so that should be quite good too.
Yes, you're setting the bar for what GitHub Universe keynotes should be. I can't wait to see what you do next year.
Kyle was so jealous that I got to do that. I mean, it was him that gave me the opportunity to do that keynote and his trust, and also he's the one that kept management off my back thing to make sure they just left me alone. Haven't seen this 6 months claim. Yeah.
What are we talking about? But no, I think people come to GitHub Universe and they expect this now more than ever.
Oh, that's great. It's about, again, why are we here? Why are we doing this? We're not doing this because of, you say, lines of code and requirements. Yes. We're doing this because we enjoy solving problems and we enjoy making things that get into customers' hands and make their lives better.
100%.
And so that's what this is. This conference isn't a you will learn my product conference. It's more of a celebration of what it is to be a developer. And that's cool. And also they're nice people that we get to hang out with. Everybody here is just nice.
Absolutely. Even to our partners and our customers.
They've just got the right vibes, haven't they?
Absolutely. And I've been having a lot of conversations with folks and that the sort of the same thread is, and I learned this and now I'm here talking about it. Yeah. My adoption story, how we implemented this, how we're measuring success and make it a little bit easier for them. So it's a lot of community in there.
Yeah, exactly. But for the people back home, I know tons of FOMO now that you can't be here and not everybody can be here because it's expensive to fly to San Francisco and things like that. So we're going to keep getting that content available.
Yeah.
We will have in-person experiences always because there needs to be a point of
there
coming
is a
together.
tour coming together, right? There is a after Universe.
Yeah, so we'll get the content out there. Obviously, a lot of the content's going to be on YouTube as well.
Okay.
So everybody back home can tune in and look at the stuff. They can see the unhinged keynote. So yeah.
Amazing. Yes, please. Go by, look, listen, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of the Furby orchestra, or I don't know, you look a bit possessed. What's going to happen to all those guys?
They've already started to get stolen. People have I've noticed them disappearing.
Well, I'm going to make my way over there.
The price of Furbies has gone up on eBay today because of it. So, anyway.
Thank you so much, Martin. I appreciate you taking the time to come by.